What's up, guys? Hendricks Family Investments back at you with another video. We're going to go over the marketplace right now, see if this dip is actually done dipping, and kind of give you guys a plan going forward. First, want to kind of focus on the background picture, which, funny enough, no pun intended, is Focus. It's a group I'll be starting, a free crypto analysis group where it's, focus mainly on just education, learning how to chart, learning how to read the marketplace. We're going to have a lot of trading resources, some ideas, just a good community to build. It'll be free. It'll be available on Discord at the end of this month. So that's what the logo is. The name of the group's called Focus. I'm looking forward to rolling that out. So you'll see a branding change on this channel. Most of it will be named Focus, and that's where we're going to be going forward. So let's focus in on some charts right here. Where are we at? We've had a big dip, man. We've had so much go on since our last video. For those of you who pay attention to the cryptocurrency markets, Elon Musk has been all of the rage here recently with his comments on Bitcoin, his comments on Doge, his comments on the energy aspects of Bitcoin. I'm not a news channel. I'm not going to sit here and go over too much about that news aspect because I feel like a lot of it's noise. But basically, Elon's just kind of showed us that, this market is so new. It's still so new. His opinions on the market, his opinions on how to quote unquote fix things, his energy opinions are all pretty ill informed. They've been debunked countless times online and by some equally intelligent people. I think we get caught up in putting Elon on a pedestal because he is a very intelligent, smart person. But reality is he's really good in his field, but he's shown some naivety in his lack of research in some of his recent comments. So I'm not concerned about this price action that you're seeing that I'm kind of circling in. Let me kind of zoom in. I know it's sometimes hard for you guys to see on this video. I'm not concerned about this, what you're seeing. Okay, so we've had a substantial drop from the top. Let's go ahead and measure that drop out on Bitcoin so we can just kind of get an exact example of of what's happened here. So we've seen from the highs based on this tool about the 34.95 35% dip. Okay, strong dip, but it's a normal dip, and it's a dip that takes place quite a bit of times in correction. I mean, in bull markets, you're going to see 5 to 6 big 35-40% corrections in bull markets. This is something that's well documented, and it's it's always scary. It's always frustrating. You know that a dip is really digging deep when you want to sell your positions. I kind of go by my own stomach gauge, and watching some. I mean, even right now, we're seeing price just trail down. Let's get this out of the way. We're seeing price trail down on a terrible candle, a wick down. We went up to 45.8, and it's just ate it back up, engulfed it down. So we're not really done going down. It doesn't seem. And these can get to you in your stomach because you're sitting here, you're like 35%. Wow. What's going on? Well, the main thing that you have to do first off is you have to zoom out. Here we go. Let's zoom out. Let's see where we've come. Down here is the 10,000 range we were in earlier this year. So 20,000 range, boom. And now we're back up. So we have really ramped. And when we ramped up here, we shot down as well. Let's go ahead and move this. That's a bigger dip, but so this is 54. Let's go see what this dip was so you guys just get some comparisons. All right, so at its lowest, this one was a 33% dip after a nice run up. Okay, so these take place. It just is what it is. They take place. There, you know, a lot of people ask me why they take place, like what's going on, like why don't we see this in a traditional marketplace? And you don't really see it in a traditional marketplace, guys, because traditional marketplaces aren't as highly leveraged as this marketplace is. Meaning people trading with leverage and highly leveraged positions that when you have downturns and rip downs because of a sell-off of an individual or because of a news event, like let's say Elon, you know, he was definitely a trigger. He didn't cause this move down, but he definitely triggered it. The cause of the move down is cascading, you know, stops from liquidations of over leveraged positions, and we were highly leveraged. So this is a clean dip. You even have a little head and shoulders action here. You know, shoulder here, head here, shoulder here, actually ripped down right into, you know, where we have a chart. If you notice, I made this line on January 7th, 2021. And look how it's interacting, right? Like this is one of the reasons I love charting, right? Like, I made this line on the 8th of January, and price comes down and interacts perfectly with it. You know, what that means is that these are levels that are being tested that are reasonable levels to be tested. If you theoretically, we haven't never really retested this level after we ripped up through it. You know, we came down close with this candle back in February, but this level, which was in an impulse, and I talk about impulse candles, was never really retested. So coming down and having it retested is healthy. It resets the market, it resets funding on longs, and it resets, you know, all the leverage that was, you know, in the marketplace. So I'm not too concerned about this. I think our biggest dip, I still think we might have another wick down candle right here because we're not seeing any reversal candles. I would like to see another wick down candle down into this red range. I think it'll be bought up heavily. And then we'll see a reversal back up towards this red range up here in the 50s. I want to see a reclamation of the 50,000 range. Let's go ahead and pull this out because I think it's going to need to be. I'd like to see a reclamation of this range, meaning we go wick down here, bounce up, and then start going towards an all-time high. But, you know, last thing I want to point out, okay, and I'm going to move on. Look down here, the RSI, okay? See down here at the bottom. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you guys. Yeah, all right. So this is the RSI, okay? This is basically like sell-off indicators, right? So when the market's really hot, the RSI is high, meaning it's oversold, overbought. There's too many people buying. When it's really low, you know, sell-offs, right? So our last sell-off bad underneath the normal range is COVID sell-off, which we all know shot us down to 3. Since then, we haven't even touched the bottom of this range except for going back to September. We've now double touched it and we're kind of heading under. Okay. What does that matter? Like, why does that matter? To me, that just is another indicator of us nearing the bottoms. And to me, a wick down in this red area would send this RSI down to its bounce point, which I think is reasonably, you could argue is, let's just shoot this over here because it's a reasonable argument. You could argue that this is around the bounce point. A wick down could be right there. We see we've had bounces. This doesn't hold. This doesn't hold. And then you'll start to see a reversal. So that's where I'm at with Bitcoin. Don't sweat it. Matter of fact, probably should buy it. All right. Ethereum. I mean, what a coin. What a run. What a coin. One of my buddies has a screenshot when he bought that bottom in 90. Man. Well, but let's just look out and focus what's going on. Okay, so we've had a huge run up. Let's get the price action on this so we can know exactly how far this ran. So when this went down to here, we have since shot up 117%. All right. Whew. That was our last dip before the rocket ship. And we dipped down to right around 2100. Guys, moves like that are blow off moves. When you're marking 100% up in a time span of less than a month, I mean, you're going to correct. So again, everybody wants to point towards Bitcoin and what Elon did and blah, 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 but our market was due for a correction. It just was. And that's what we're seeing out of Ethereum. This is a healthy correction. It's a reset and then it continues into the flow. Like if you want to give me a trend, if you want me to make a trend chart for you, I think one good way to visualize these is to start on points and kind of make trend marks to where it'll bounce and recover. So we had 3 touches, 1, 2, 3 touches, and then it went through that and bounced off and exploded, right? So I think it's reasonable for us to fall. Let's get 3 more touches down here. 1, 2. No, I don't like that touch. Let's pull it down here. Is there a touch? Yeah, we got touches down here. There we go. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. I like this range traveling up. So like it goes back down through here, it hits into this red box, gets back into this range, and then starts moving back up. Okay. Like when they reset back into their range as if they were moving up on forward. Like this is clearly the trend range we're in. We bounced way out of it on an outlier, and it's going to correct itself. So, you know, again, don't sweat on these. Don't, you know, if you're still in this ETH position, you didn't sell, you're in it because you're in it for a longer period of time and you don't think the cycle's over. And you know, I'm still with that mindset. So keep focusing on this position. I like buys when they start getting down into this red box. Let me get rid of these white lines because that was just an example. I like buys when they start getting back into this red box. That's our first real blocker. And then this would be our second area if we got to it, which, you know, you would kind of want to go all in if we got down to 2600s, 2500s again. This is a really, really good area, though. I think red will see like that 3K barrier that's so psychological. So, you know, ETH's looking good. It's doing what it needed to do. It needed a reset. These things can't go straight up, guys. They just can't. All right. Let's move on to Doge. I'll do a meme coin for you guys. I'm not big on them, but hey, they're turning the market. They're making their marks. So where are we at with Doge right now? Basically, if you believe that this coin is going up and you believe that it's not done, and you believe that this is one of the meme coins that will survive, we're at a pretty solid spot. You know, I can put some lines here. You know, nice solid bounce through, cape over. We're kind of just triangling right here, you know, and technically these tend to work out in a bull market in the up favor. So, you know, there's our triangle. Bounce, 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 explode up. That's kind of how these work in a bull market. Now, if this was a top market, it would bounce, 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 and then break through to the down. I don't see that happening. I'm not a fan of Dogecoin really just because meme coins aren't my thing. And I don't like a lot of what Elon's doing with trying to kind of perpetuate that this is a coin that's built to handle world currency. But the fact of the matter is the masses love it and it's going to run, especially if the bull market continues. So if you're in on that type of a scenario, or you're in a Doge position that you were at in 75 cents and you bought in at 60, thought it was going to $1, didn't listen to my other video, or, you know, this is a reasonable time to be adding in. There's some pretty strong support here. You know, we're in a nice descending triangle. It could explode to the upside. You know, not a bad spot. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. We've got Litecoin, which, man, has had a disappointing 4-hour day. It would start off beautiful with this candle. Let me show you the candle it started off with. This is our candle right here that started off really nice. Here we are, and it was up to here. Again, this is an ugly candle, guys. This is a wick down. Sellers are selling this off. They sold this candle off. They sold this rush off. We went up from about 280, where there's historical resistance, to 320. You know, that's a nice solid 10, 12, 13, 14% move. But it's been sold off and it's not holding this resist SR flip. And here we are back down. And you know, now that I look at it too, there's this right here, and we have that hit, that fail, that hit, that fail, that fail, that fail. So that's not pretty. You know, it's not a nice looking chart. LTC still could go down. I'm still huge on it in the long run. I still have a you know, large investment in it and happy with it. You know, one thing is it's held pretty strong against the BTC pair in this dip. But you know, this is a scenario right now where I'm not adding any more in this mid spot. To me, this is a mid spot. I'm adding a wick down candle that goes towards 240. Or I'm adding a reclamation of 337. We reclaimed 337. I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest with you. That's why I was kind of excited about this candle earlier today. We didn't make it. That's okay. So now I'll be looking on the other end. If it wicks down towards the historical 240 range, I mean, that's a big buy, in my opinion. That's kind of an all-in range, as I don't think we go much deeper than that and recover. So LTC, another one that just ran really hard. I mean, it ran from, let's get this up so you guys can see why these are dipping. I just really want you guys to get an understanding of why these are dipping so that you understand what you're seeing and why you're seeing it. I mean, LTC ran up 100% here, guys, just like the Ethereum candle I just showed you. From its dip, it ran up 100% in under a 3-week period. Like, you're going to see healthy corrections after that. And LTC historically, meaning like this run, has been full of healthy candles. I mean, look, going down here, remember these ranges are small. So this is a big dip. This is a 190 to a 110. It's a huge dip. Big dip up here, 250 to a 150. You see, so LTC has these dips. It's had these dips the whole run up. Boom, 2, 3. Now we're on our fourth one. And, you know, I'm not down at all at this coin. I think it's in a pretty solid buy range if it wicks down again. Right now in the middle, I'm not touching it. Last one we'll go through, XLM, and we're going to hop off this video. XLM, man, is another coin that's had huge rip downs like LTC. You know, going from up here, running up to 61 high to a 31 low. Woo! Basically a 50% rip down, guys, you know, and then it ran up again hard and then goes down 65 to 38. Ran up again. Now we're ripping down. This bad boy runs right here to this white line. I'm all in at the 57-cent spot. It's hit it one time. I think if it hits it on a next time frame, it'll be a higher depth. It won't go as deep, and it'll be similar to a double bottom and expand up. That's the one place I'll buy. The second place I'll buy is right up on here. If we reclaim and bounce and hold on 68, I'll buy with the target of the all-time high, which is about a 50% gain. And as I think is where XLM is going to move when it moves next. So look for this next move. We've moved to 80. We've moved to 60. I don't think the next move's to 100. I think the next move is 105 all-time high. I think we'll get there with XLM, and look for those two buy spots, either the reclamation here or the reclamation down there. So if you notice right now, we're kind of in like a wait spot with all these coins, kind of seeing where they're at. I said Doge is a decent buy. ETH, I'm waiting still, right? BTC still waiting. XLM waiting, LTC. So be patient. Hope this gives you a bit of a plan. Hope you're checking out some of these coins. Pay attention to the group that's coming out in the future. You guys are going to really like that. I'm going to have a ton of stuff in there for you. I think you'll really enjoy the resources, as you know, I've pretty much self-taught myself. I'm pretty much self-taught, excuse me, in trading. There's plenty of resources out here for you. They're free. But you just need them organized. You need someone to direct you. And that's kind of what my goal is with this group focus. Keep an eye on the marketing for that. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.